Hey guys, it's Danny, and today's clean and delicious recipe is super fun because we're making homemade DIY Kind bars. Now, if you're not familiar with Kind bars, they are simply snack energy bars, which are made of primarily nuts and seeds. So here's all you're gonna need. Some unsalted almonds, unsalted peanuts, chopped up walnuts, brown rice crispy cereal, ground up flaxseed meal, some honey, brown rice syrup, a little sea salt, vanilla extract, your favorite dark chocolate chips, and a little bit of coconut oil. You will also need a 13x9 rimmed baking sheet that you sprayed with a little bit of cooking spray. This is also known as a quarter sheet pan. And then you're gonna need a candy thermometer. Now I'm gonna leave links down in the description box below showing you the tools that I'm using here today. Now, if your nuts are not already toasted, you're gonna want to do that first. All you do is lay them out on a big rimmed baking sheet, pop them into a 350-degree oven for 5 to 10 minutes or until they have become golden brown and they smell fragrant. A little tip when you are toasting nuts, as soon as you start to smell them, once they're fragrant, that's usually a pretty good indication that they are just about done. Once the nuts have cooled, I'm gonna transfer them into a nice big bowl along with the brown Rice Krispie cereal and that ground flaxseed meal. Gently toss it all together and set it aside. So now I'm gonna make the syrup that holds the bars together. And while this is not difficult, it's a little bit tricky simply because you have to be kind of precise. So here's what we're doing. I have a medium-sized saucepan and a candy thermometer. Now my candy thermometer hooks right onto the side of the pot, and it is designed so that the tip of the thermometer does not touch the bottom of the pot. But depending on the type of thermometer you have, you just have to make sure that that tip never hits the bottom of the pot, because then you're not going to get an accurate temperature reading, and we need to get an accurate temperature reading so that the syrup is at the right consistency, okay? So I've got my pot, my candy thermometer is attached, and into the pot goes my honey, brown rice syrup, vanilla extract, and the salt. I'm going to gently stir that all together, and then I'm going to turn my heat up to a medium. Now you really want to stay with the syrup, okay? I'm going to keep whisking it and stirring it as we go along, and the goal is to reach 260 degrees on the thermometer, which is considered the hardball stage. Now if this is the first time you're ever doing this, it can seem a little confusing because the whole thing comes to a boil, and it boils for quite a while before it actually reaches the right temperature. So you just have to stay with it as it rises up and keep on mixing it as you go. Now you can see that my pot is really cutting it close here. That syrup is really riding right up to the edge there. So if you're making this at home, I would try maybe using a slightly bigger pot. But once you reach 260, and you can see on the thermometer, 260, it's the hardball stage. It says it right there. You gotta work kind of quick and efficiently. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut my heat off, gently pull this over to the counter, remove the candy thermometer, and then I'm gonna pour it right on top of the nuts. And then gently but efficiently, you're gonna need to stir this all together so that that syrup is coating all of the nuts and the cereal and the flax meal. Now this mixture tends to be a little bit thick and stiff, so you wanna make sure that you're using a good hearty spatula or wooden spoon to get the job done. And once you've got everything coated, everything is mixed together, you are going to quickly and efficiently transfer the whole thing over to that half sheet pan that you had, that you sprayed with a little cooking oil earlier so nothing sticks. Okay, then I spray the cooking spray right on my hands. It's the easiest way to do this without having everything stick to you. And then you're just gonna get right on in there and flatten out the top of this, and you just keep working it until you have a nice smooth surface, and any holes that you might see in between the nuts are smushed together. And it's very easy to do with both of your hands. You just keep at it. Now from here, you could just leave it on the counter for about 20-30 minutes, let the whole thing set up, or if you wanted to speed the process up, you could just pop it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes or so. Really, I just want it to be completely cooled down and firm and set up. Then you want to get out your cutting board, because we are going to get that tray, flip it upside down, just pat it on the back a couple times, and you'll see that whole bar will just pop right out. And from here, we're gonna cut it into 20 bars. The easiest way to do this is to start by cutting it into quarters, so half and then half again. Then take each section and do your best to create 4 equal cuts, and you will end up with 5 bars. And don't get too crazy about being perfect here. They are homemade bars, so we want them to have that homemade touch. Now, to finish them off, and this is the most fun part of the whole thing in my opinion, because it's messy, you're gonna take the chocolate chips along with that coconut oil, pop it into your microwave for about a minute. All microwaves vary, so you wanna keep an eye on it. Take it out, give it a good stir so that it's melted and drizzle ready. And then you're just gonna take your spoon, scoop up that chocolate, and slowly drizzle it back and forth over each bar. And you can do as little or as much chocolate as you fancy. Then once you've got all the chocolate done, I just pop the whole tray right into the fridge for about 20 minutes or half an hour so all that chocolate can firm up, and then they're ready to be stored. Grab your favorite airtight container. If it's rectangular, that's even better. Line the bottom with a little bit of parchment paper so nothing sticks. Then you just lay them in a single file, put another piece of parchment paper on top, and continue for as many that will fit in the container. You just want to make sure that they're not touching each other because they will stick together. These bars will last you weeks in the fridge and months in the freezer, and they make awesome grab and go snacks. They're perfect for lunch boxes and delicious with a hot cup of coffee. You guys have got to make this one, and when you do, please snap a picture and tag me on Instagram and on Facebook and on Snapchat so I can see all of the clean and deliciousness that you're whipping up in your very own kitchens. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you like these fun copycat DIY recipes, and if you want to print them, head on over to cleananddelicious.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm Danny Spies. I will see you back here next time with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers! And for today's clean and delicious recipe, from the top, we are making something super fun. From the top, here we go. Now, this is a thick, if you like these copycat DIY, do it yourself, DIY. Ready? Voila! So exciting.